down is that self-discipline helps you unlock your full potential. And this is so important because why not? Why not allow ourselves the best fighting chance to be the best version ourselves in this one life that we have? Why not? If you're someone who has a goal of wanting to do anything, why not let yourself fulfill that goal? Why are you holding back? When are you waiting for the afterlife, your next lifetime, your reincarnation? I don't know. Alrighty guys, hello Jenny, the camera is rolling, so we gotta get our shit together. Hi guys, I am Jenny Munn. Welcome back to my YouTube channel that has recently come back from the dead. If you haven't watched my first video, very quick disclaimer for you that the content on this channel is going to be drastically different to what I used to share. So if life talks, deep and meaningfuls, controversial topics are not really up your alley, then that's totally fine. Feel free to unsubscribe. By all means, I don't want to be boring anyone to death, but if keeping me around to listen to as you fall asleep because I'm potentially that boring, then feel free to do that as well. Whatever floats your boat, right? Anyways, thanks for coming back, guys. I'm going to be today talking about self-discipline and more specifically why self-discipline to me is the highest form of self-love. And I went through a really long self-love journey. I'm still on a self-love journey. It's a never-ending journey, if I must add to that. But essentially, I also can right now know that my mic for some reason is going to be picking up a lot of the background audio of my mum eating outside. I don't know why, because this mic is meant to be environment sound cancelling. But anyways, moving forward, apologies in advance. But self-discipline is not only about waking up at 5 in the morning and going to the gym even if you're feeling shit. Yes, that is a big part of self-discipline, and hats off to you guys if that's something that you're able to do. But self-discipline is so much deeper than that. Self-discipline is essentially a commitment to yourself to be the best version of yourself, to show up for yourself. It's essentially about keeping yourself a promise rather than punishing yourself, because sometimes I feel like self-discipline is seen very harshly as I'm not being enough, I'm not doing enough, I'm not enough, so I need to do more, and that becomes self-discipline. But I see self-discipline as a promise to ourselves to be able to be the best version of ourselves and show up and do things that we feel like we can achieve and that we deserve to be. And essentially, when you form a high enough level or you practice a high enough level of self-discipline, you become a version of yourself that you're really proud of. And it feels amazing. You get to wake up every day thinking, wow, I'm the fucking shit. Feel like the fucking bomb. And therefore, your whole day is most of the time, of course, because we're humans, going to be fucking amazing. And if you're wondering if that's how I feel every day because I'm sitting here preaching that, yes, absolutely. 99.9% of days I wake up, my first thought is, wow, I'm grateful to be alive, firstly. And secondly, I'm so grateful to be alive as no one else but me. I wake up feeling amazing, and therefore my days are amazing. I'm not going to lie and say that I'm a, walking robot and I don't know how to feel sad. I do, but essentially the essence of my days are positive. I always look to seek positivity in everything that happens in my life, but that's a different podcast. So I put down a few points because I also didn't want this to become a 45-minute podcast knowing how passionately I am about this topic. So the first point that I put down is that self-discipline helps you unlock your full potential. And this is so important because why not? Why not allow ourselves the best fighting chance to be the best version ourselves in this one life that we have? Why not? If you're someone who has a goal of wanting to do anything, why not let yourself fulfill that goal? Why are you holding back? When are you waiting for the afterlife, your next lifetime, your reincarnation? I don't know. But self-discipline allows us to take the step to fulfill our fullest potential. And this doesn't mean always linked back to things like fitness, gym, studying. Of course, those things are the most obvious things that come to our mind. But even things like if you want to be the best mom you want to be, if you want to be the mom that is calm and doesn't lash out your babies, this is also self-discipline. If you want to be the mom that potentially makes the cutest home-packed meal lunches for your kids, this starts with self-discipline. It's everything. It's not just about studies. It's not just about tangible physical goals that you need to achieve. It can be about mindset. It can be about who you want to be emotionally, spiritually, all that stuff. It's just about allowing yourself to be your full potential. And I think this is really important because we only live this one life. And why do we wait for anything? Why do we hold back, and why do we let ourselves miss out on any of these opportunities? Because most of the time it's just our mindset. If there's something that you want to become, if there's something that you want to do, regardless of what it is, like bench 200 kilos, look, I don't know what the standard average goal benchmark it is for men out there these days in the gym, but whatever it is you want to do, allow yourself at least a fighting chance to unlock that potential in you. The worst case that can happen is that you don't reach that absolute potential, but you reach halfway, or you reach anywhere that's not where you are right now, and that's still a win, right? So for me, this started off with I wanted to become someone who was actively physically healthy, physically fit, and not only because it lets you look fit and healthy and makes you feel good, but ultimately it was because I wanted to see myself as someone who can live a long, healthy, fulfilling, active life. I don't want to be 60 on a wheelchair or with a walking stick and not being able to visit my favorite countries. I don't want to be 80 and restricted on a sodium-free diet or can't eat chocolate, whatever, because I didn't look after myself. I want to be 80 on the mountain, hiking. I want to live the greatest life that I can live to the very last day I take my last fighting breath. And I wasn't at a stage where I was that person. I was so unfit. So my running journey started with me telling myself, hey Jenny, we're going to run today. We're going to record how long the run is until we're completely out of breath and dying and hating life and need to give up. And then we're going to set that as a benchmark. We're going to celebrate that benchmark, and then from this day forwards we're going to improve on that. I kid you not, my first run was 2 minutes and 30 seconds until I hated life and I'm like, fuck this shit, I'm done. But I kept my promise and I honored myself. I celebrated, and guess what, the next day I ran for 2 minutes and 30 seconds, the day after 2 minutes 30 seconds, but eventually one day it became 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And today, I'm not saying I'm the healthiest, the craziest runner there is. Like, shit, if you're my friend and you're listening to this, you're probably laughing and saying I'm talking fucking smack because I'm the worst runner there is. But compared to my old self, I'm someone now who can run for 45 minutes and enjoy it. I'm someone now who actually looks forward to waking up on a Saturday and going for a nice bay run. I'm someone who gets excited for things like marathon runs and city to surf. And that's only because I practiced self-discipline, took baby steps, gave myself small attainable goals that I celebrated, and I got myself here. And that's just one simple example of how self-discipline allowed me to show up to my fullest potential. The next point I have is you learn to show up for yourself every single day. And to me, this was so important to highlight because showing up for yourself, okay, let's put this into a different analogy. Let's say we have a family member or we have friends who fail to show up for us, who are never there for us, who bail on us, who are a bit flaky. They don't become very reliable people and they don't really make us feel very good. We are someone to ourselves. Like, my mantra is fear no one, love everyone, become someone. So in life, we are responsible for our own happiness. We are responsible for who we are, who we show up to the world to be. So we are someone to ourselves. And if we are not showing up for ourselves, who's going to show up for us? If we are not showing up for ourselves, we consistently let ourselves down every single day. And this creates a really negative feeling of we're not enough, we're not doing enough, we can't be enough. And these are all subconscious thoughts. I'm not saying that every time you fail to do something, you're sitting there and you're literally saying to yourself, oh, I failed to do that, I'm not enough. No, but these are all subconscious thoughts that happen without us realizing. And I learned somewhere along my 12 years of medical school and all my readings and talking to friends that are amazing that our subconscious mind is 80% of what we actually think. Our conscious mind is only 20%. So really a lot of our life decisions, a lot of our feelings and thoughts come from our subconscious. So that's how powerful our subconscious mind is. So something as simple as building your self-discipline and showing up for yourself every single day really helps shape your mindset, and therefore it also allows you to work on your self-love for yourself, to change the cycle of your mood, to help you be empowered and regulate how you feel and who you show up as. And that's a whole different podcast, so I'm going to limit myself, have self-control, and stop here. But ultimately, showing up for yourself is so important because you reduce the amount of buts in your life. You reduce the potential of anyone or anything, any circumstance becoming a but in your life. And that's seeing less of, oh, but it's raining today, so I don't want to go to the gym. It's less of, oh, but I feel like crap because me and so just broke up, so I don't want to go to work today. It's less of, but this, but that. The more self-discipline you have, regardless of the lemons that life throws at you, you continue to empower yourself to do things for yourself that you promised and committed to for yourself. It does become hard, like it's not airy fairy rainbow sunshine lollipops, it is hard, but the more self-discipline you do practice, the less buts you will encounter, and therefore the more control and the more empowerment you actually have for yourself, and it feels amazing. The third point that I wrote down is very relative to the second point, and that is you become someone that you admire and you're proud of. And it sounds so simple, but it's so deep, because when you become the person that you admire most, when you become your own inspiration, when you become your own motivation, essentially you don't need to seek outward for anyone else to push for you. You don't need to seek external validation or inspiration from anyone else. So really you take full control of your emotional self. You take full control of your life, and that's so empowering. You want to be the person that is your greatest cheerleader. You want to be the person that inspires you the most, and it's because when you are able to be that person, not only do you not rely on others, but it's an internal feedback cycle within your own mind that you feel great, you are great. So therefore, every single day, you want to work to become even greater. It's the endorphins that get released when you think great about yourself. And these feelings are what makes you become the best version of yourself, because you have a great outlook on who you are. You believe in yourself, and therefore, you become who you believe you are. And a really quick story about this that might make people think that I'm quite self-conceited is I recently said in my last video that I've been registered to speak as a motivational speaker for Beyond Blue. And as part of this, obviously, there's training programs, there's workshops we have to go to. And in one of the very first workshops that we had to go to, we all had to introduce ourselves and say, you know, who is the person in our lives that inspires us the most. And as we went around the circle, I started to freak out because I was like, damn, I don't know who that person is. I get inspired by so many people, I do, but who is this one person that I'm going to choose? And not really one specific person came to mind. And as my turn got closer and closer, I started to get more and more nervous. So I took a deep breath and I asked myself, who inspired me to get out of bed when I had my darkest days throughout my self-love journey during my breakup? Who inspired me to believe in surrender and love life, even though I had, hit rock bottom when it came to my lupus? And the answer was me. The answer truly was me. And I'm like, no, Jenny, we are not going to say that we are the person that inspires ourselves the most in this freaking workshop. And I was like, no, say it, because the whole reason you want to be part of this motivational speaker program is you want to be able to inspire people to believe in themselves and be their greatest power. And if you can't say it yourself, then you're not practicing what you preach. So I said it when it came around to me. I said, hi guys, I'm Jenny, blah blah blah. Actually, I'm the person that inspires myself the most. And I was so proud of myself for finding the courage to do that. So yeah, self-discipline. It's a whole thing, and it will allow you to take baby steps to become someone that you admire so much and you're so proud of within yourself. Self-discipline is also about self-respect. It's not just about the physical achievable goals that we can think of, like studying, work, fitness, but it's also about loving ourselves in a way where if we are self-disciplined, we're able to draw boundaries also within things like relationships. It allows us to teach the people around us and other people how to treat us, because we have that discipline to hold ourselves to a certain standard. Self-discipline is also really liberating, as ironic as that sounds. It really, really gives us freedom in life, because when we have self-discipline, when we are able to take control of things, it allows us to fall less of a victim to things that may be out of our control. So it allows us to be more emotionally stable. It allows us to be more focused regardless of the life lemons that get thrown at us. So in a way, the control gives us the freedom. Self-discipline, importantly, as my final point, I know I'm rambling, is also a teacher that teaches us that, look, love is not always soft. Self-discipline is ultimately, to me, like I said, the highest form of self-love that anyone can have for themselves. And it's tough. It's rough. It's rough pushing yourself. It's rough setting goals that feel so hard to achieve, but mentally telling yourself that you got this. It's rough climbing the mountain that is yourself. And if you haven't read that book, it's a really, really good book. But it's a teacher, and it teaches us love, not only in terms of within ourselves, but it teaches us discipline in terms of relationships as well. It teaches us that, love isn't always easy, love isn't always soft. Self-discipline really is a bridge. It's a bridge between who we are today and the person that we can and will work towards becoming in our future, that we know we deserve to be. And I'm going to end it there. Thanks for listening, guys. I'll see you in my next video.